Yo, what is going on to the people, man? This is Rap Star Boxing all the way from London, England. I hope you can hear me. We might be having some technical issues, but I've got some news for you guys. Anthony Joshua's new trainer, Roy Jones Jr. Anthony Joshua's new trainer is more likely to be Roy Jones Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Stormy Bean. Stormy Bean, how's it going, man? You should come up on the live one day, bro. I've seen your live. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Stormy Bean. You need to come and chop it up with us one day. But look at this. Dimitar in the building. Real Boxing TV. You know, it takes some. It's going to take a minute for the stream to get going, bro. So it's going to take a few minutes, right, for the stream to get warmed up. You know, there's always a problem with the link. So you guys either got to bear with it or it is what it is, mate. You know, it is what it is. But look, guys, Anthony Joshua's new trainer. Can Roy Jones Jr. help Anthony Joshua to get rid of the demons? Is this the man to save Anthony Joshua? Can this man help and improve Anthony Joshua? Because AJ has been going through trainers lately, and it seems like he's not confident with anybody he goes with. So what the fuck is happening to Anthony Joshua, bro? Why is AJ all of a sudden constantly looking for new trainers? Now, I'm going to say this. You're going from John McCracken to Garcia to Roy Jones. I mean, this is like going everywhere, isn't it? You know, is it not unstable? Is that not an unstable situation for Anthony Joshua? You know, Anthony Joshua, he got to be stable with where he's at. And he's not stable with anybody he's with. We heard about Robert Garcia, man. You know, he should have stuck with Robert Garcia. I mean, but now he's not confident. He needs to find another man that he has a bond with. So Anthony Joshua and Roy Jones, they met in Abu Dhabi. They met at the fight at Abu Dhabi. Anthony Joshua and Roy Jones, they chopped it up and they seem to be getting along with each other. Right? And Anthony Joshua can Roy Jones. Are we live? Anyway, we're going to keep it for a bit. It takes a minute. It's going to take a minute for the to get warmed up. You just got to bear with me, mate. You have to bear with me. One, two. Can somebody tell me it's working, man? You know how it is? It takes a moment to get going. All right, we can hear you can hear me. I'm just gonna but look, Anthony Joshua, yeah, his new trainer could be Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. Anthony Joshua have been having conversations and they met at Abu Dhabi, and Roy Jones seems like he can help Anthony Joshua. Now, do you think Anthony Joshua is moving from trainer to trainer? I mean, he's got to be uncomfortable. Some demons. He has got over losses. And hiring Robert Garcia, I thought that's the way he's going to go forward. Salute, man. Salute to Silverstream, bro. Brilliant, AJ. Keep talking. I am talking. But look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep it real with you. AJ, is going to be with Roy Jones Jr., this is another trainer. Is this good for him or is this bad for him? You got to stay with the same camp, bro. You can't just keep moving camp, moving camp, moving camp. You know, AJ has to, you need to recognize that Anthony Joshua needs stability right now. Him moving to other gyms and going to Roy Jones, then he went over there to America. He tried to see what everybody's doing and he went to different trainers. You know, we even heard that he was going to train with Jamal Charlo's trainer. You know, so at the end of the day, AJ has got some demons. And Anthony Joshua needs to find his right match. Anthony Joshua needs to go to a gym or a person that he's comfortable with. Because at this moment, moving from gym to another place, then going to another trainer, this could be detrimental. This could be detrimental to his career, bro. I'm just going to say that. This could be detrimental to his career, man. This ain't a good thing for AJ constantly moving trainers. But let's hope that Roy Jones Jr. can help the man. Let's hope that Roy Jones Jr. man. You know what I mean? Somebody got to be able to help Anthony Joshua. I mean, everybody wants to train Anthony Joshua. He's the cash cow. He's the money man. Anybody will train him. Nobody will say no to that job. You know how many millions you can earn for training Anthony Joshua? Back in a second, guys. I've got to answer some calls. But if anybody wants to chop it up, you're more than welcome while I'm going to be on this live, only for a short time. AJ, new trainer, is Roy Jones Jr., bro. I'll be back in a moment unless anybody wants to chop it up. Yo, I'm back. Mic check, mic check. I'm back in the building. I'm not going to be here long. I just wanted to announce the news that Anthony Joshua is looking like he's going to train with Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. might be the man to help Anthony Joshua with some demons, can help him in the ring, and maybe, who knows, maybe make him a little bit better of a fighter. We don't know, bro. But ask the people. And we're going to ask people right now.
Yo, what's going on, Rapstar and chat? How's it going, you guys? It's the Clubinator.
And
What we saying?
Bro. Anthony Joshua, new trainer, bro. Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, that's good. That's good news to hear, man. That's good news to hear. AJ needs some fresh people in his corner, some people that are gonna challenge him and mold him into pushing himself. He needs to push himself. He did good. Changing to Robert Garcia. Um and we saw some improvements already. You know, he was able to implement another game plan. AJ is very adaptable, man. He can adapt to many different game plans. So I'm excited to see what Roy Jones is able to bring to the corner and bring to the table, and how he's able to shape AJ moving forward, because he's still a big heavy hitter and a big player in the heavyweights.
Are you not concerned, you being a boxer yourself, are you not concerned his instability with the trainers that he's got? Learning from Garcia, Robert Garcia, being in that camp, then being in with Angel Fernandez, knowing that he is constantly moving to different trainers. Yes, one thing is a good thing for Roy Jones Jr., right? Roy Jones
Yeah,
Jr. is not a trainer, as he was a better fighter than he is a trainer. What
yeah,
elite guys have you ever seen Roy Jones Jr. train, bro?
yeah. That's true. That's a good point. It's not really
I
many, man.
mean, you guys are talking like you're hardcore boxing fans, but you got to use your logical head here. What elite fighter, heavyweight, have you seen Roy Jones Jr. train?
Yeah, that's
Tell
something
me,
to
go
take
on.
into account.
I mean, you're talking about a man who's a legend in his own right, but is he a legendary trainer? Not yet. Roy Jones Jr. hasn't done legendary training yet. For AJ to match up with Roy Jones, this is more of a preference. This is more of
Yeah,
a preference. You guys are saying, "Oh, this is the best matchup. This is really good for really." We don't know because AJ doesn't seem to be comfortable with himself. I mean, the only reason you're going to get another trainer is there's some demons are still in your brain. You get me, bro?
yeah. That
I
might be
mean,
true.
go on. I'm going to let you cook for a minute while I come back. Go on.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that might be true, because this is the thing. It's exciting to me because I think that AJ has done well to adapt to different styles. But the thing is, he's done well to adapt to different styles. But there's been a problem that we've been seeing occurring through many fights now, and it's the mental instability of Anthony Joshua. And we saw that breakdown as soon as he lost to Usyk. Man, what was he saying? He was saying, "Oh, how did you beat me? How did you beat me? You're not strong. You're not strong. How did you beat me?" And he grabbed the belts. He said, "Fuck these belts. Fuck them." And he threw them. He was saying Lomachenko was trying to calm him down. He's saying, "Anthony, you're a great fighter. You're a great champion." And Anthony Joshua was like, "Fuck that. Fuck Lomachenko. Fuck him. I'm Anthony Joshua, bruv." You know what I'm saying? And so he's showing a lot of mental weakness when he did that, and he's shown that a lot. You know, he can't take a loss. Well, what the only thing he can do is throw a tantrum, because this is the thing. When he lost the first fight to Andy Ruiz and to Usyk, there was always the plan. Oh, well, Eddie Hearn's on my side. Eddie Hearn's gonna make sure I got that second fight, and come around for that second fight, I'm gonna be able to get those belts back, because I'm gonna switch up my style, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? But when he lost to Usyk, there was no way out. The cat was out of the bag. He changed the style, and it still wasn't enough, and that made him break, because he realized that the jig was up. He wasn't gonna be at that top level anymore, at least for a while, at least as long as Usyk was around. And he broke down. So if he's that mentally weak that he can't even handle a loss, um, does that really mean that he's in the right mind state to be making good decisions right now? Is this really a good decision, or is it just that he's just flip flopping, switching trainers every other day, like a prostitute switches their clients? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, at the end of the day, you got to remember something. Can AJ at his age? Are you guys hardcore boxing fans, or are you guys casuals all the time? How old is Anthony Joshua, bro? How old is the man?
That's something
I
to
mean,
take into account.
AJ, one thing about AJ, he's a gentleman in the sport. He never makes excuses. Other people make excuses for AJ, but AJ don't make no excuses, bro.
Yeah.
Now, what we're gonna say is, how old is the man? Let's do some homework here. 33 years old, Larry Lister. Yeah, 33-year-old man at a heavyweight. Can he really earn anything? Can he really earn anything more, or is this
Oh, you're cutting out. You're cutting out, Rep.
Are you gonna have to wait for me then? You're gonna have to wait for me. I think I'm back soon. I think I'll be back soon. You just gotta wait for me. Are we back? I think we're back. Now look,
you're good now.
I think you guys have got to remember and don't act like casuals. The man is 33 years old. It's like Stormy Bean says. AJ is not worth the bother. He's too old, spoiled to accept honest course by the way of his tutelage. Now look, I think what he's saying is, yeah, Anthony Joshua cannot learn too much more physical attributes. He's already learned from the best. Are you understanding that, Klobinator?
Yeah.
Right? You can only learn to the age of 30 to learn. Now it's about place, knowing that you've got to work on certain things that can help you. I'm not saying he can't improve a little bit, but it's a very minimal improvement, Klobinator. It's a minimal improvement. At 3 years old, you're not going to be adapting to a whole new style. You're not going to be becoming a different fighter and learning so many great new tricks. At 33, it's towards the end of your career. You can only establish yourself with what you've got and try and make that sharper. And basically, as you get older, you got to fight a different way. You got to learn how to fight a different way. If you're that good, you can adapt. As you get older, you learn to do the best of what you got, and you constantly now are working on what you have got, what you're trying to learn. You're going to fuck up game plan. Attribute. You got to be able to be comfortable with your own skin. Anthony Joshua just needs to improve on what he has got. Go on, Klobinator.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. He's not a spring chicken. It's not like this is his first year in boxing where he's going to be able to soak in new styles and this and that. You can't teach an old dog new tricks and completely reinvent the wheel, right? You can only improve what you got. And that's the thing. Will Roy Jones be able to do that with Anthony Joshua? Like, a lot of people are excited. Yeah, you can be excited, but at the same time, this is not going to be some night and day transformation, more than likely. It's not like AJ's just going to come back and you're going to see him outbox Usyk and just destroy him, 12 rounds to nothing. That's just not what's going to happen. And I'm even seeing here, Anthony Joshua, one of his quotes was about this switch in trainers. He says, "I want to be a free spirit. That means that I plan to potentially work with different trainers to learn from them to make the needed changes to turn things around." So Anthony Joshua says he's a free spirit, and that's a alarming language to me, man. Free spirit. That's like if you ever see a girl like on Instagram or on Twitter or something, a girl posts, "Oh, I'm a free spirit," in her biography, in her bio. You know what that means when a woman tells you she's a free spirit. That means that she's ready. Let's just say that means that the apple is ripe, baby. So when Anthony Joshua says he's a free spirit, it's kind of alarming language. It seems weird. It's almost as if he's turning into a hippie, man. Like he's not focusing on the he's not focusing on the discipline of boxing and just sticking to what he knows best. It's like he's like, "Oh yeah, let me take a little bit of this, let me take a little bit of that, and let's see what works." But that's not the way that's gonna help you usually, man. So I do see what you're saying, Rap, that this might not be the best choice. And Roy Jones might just be the next flavor of the week.
You got is not in this training camp to fucking change Anthony Joshua's style. He's there to mentally help him and to get him in physical shape and to improve in the stuff that he already established. See, whatever Anthony Joshua is good at now, Roy Jones got to work on that. He can't do what he did with Chris Eubank, trying to change Chris Eubank's boxing style, bro. You know?
Yeah.
And Roy Jones cannot implement his own attributes to Anthony Joshua. He got to work on the attributes that AJ's got, and he has to mentally help him, physically just help him get in shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a no-brainer, bro. Anybody will take that job. Anybody will take that job.
Anybody will take that job. Anybody will take that job. And Roy Jones, I'm seeing the quotes right now. He says, Roy Jones says this about Anthony Joshua. He says his mindset doesn't need correcting, but there are a lots of ways to nature that mindset. The whole plan I've got is built on mindset. So I told Anthony Joshua that I'm glad he's not fighting right away, because I would like to see him change some things, reset his mind first, then go back out. If you go back out with the same game plan that you had, you, yourself, and everybody else know what changed. It's like when you fought Usyk. What changed? Nothing. So we've got to change things to expect a different outcome. If I can't get him for 4 or 5 months and change some things, then it's possible we can get a different outcome. That's my plan. That's what Roy Jones is saying. He wants to change the mindset of Anthony Joshua from based on this quote that I have here. So that's big news. That's big news. And he even goes further. He says, I spoke to him at the fight last weekend. I guess this is when they had just fought the second fight. Roy Jones says, in my opinion. Yeah,
shall we go to New York right now, Club? And later we got Manhattan or Bronx in the building right now.
Let's go.
What's up, fellas? What's going on? Clabinator, Rapstar, what it do?
Oh, salute.
What do you think about this matchup?
Man, I'm actually excited. You must have. You're breaking the internet, because I didn't even hear this from no other outlet yet. I mean, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, Roy Jones is a legend, man. What can we say? I mean, the dude has been in multiple weight classes. He's just a beast so raw. He's a legend. I'm really excited to see what he can do with Anthony Joshua. Of course, we're not going to see like a brand new Anthony Joshua, but I think that Roy Jones will know how to play on his strengths. And I'm really excited to see, you know what I mean, what's going to happen with this, man. And I hope it works out for him too, because a lot of people give a lot of hate on Anthony Joshua, but they got to remember this man has a resume. This man was the 2-time champion. You know what I mean? All of us, I've never been a fighter, but I'm assuming, when fighters go through obstacles, the real ones are able to bounce back. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, how much can it help him, Max? I mean, how much at this point? We just heard from people in the chat. It's very hard to learn new tricks. If you were going to go to a Western coaches or coaches across the pond, that's the kind of thing to do at 25 or 28 years old.
Yeah, like
doing
I said,
these things at 33 years old versus Jones. If he loses when he's training with Roy Jones, what's he gonna do next? Go to somebody?
Well,
else?
I mean, I see the chat, I see the comments, I see John McSmith saying, "Oh, geez," but I'm not saying that we're gonna see a brand new Anthony Joshua. But I think we'll be able to see some of the things that we all like seen him in the past, what he was good at. I think we're going to see that being heightened again. Don't get me crazy. Don't get it twisted.
But you guys, Max, you sound like so do the rest of the people. You're all happy because it's Roy Jones Jr. But Roy Jones Jr. is a legend fighter. He's not a legend trainer. When has he ever trained a heavyweight? When has he ever trained a heavyweight, bro? You guys are talking like, Roy Jones.
Hold on, my man. Hold on,
Roy Jones, man, ain't sound like stupid shit.
Wouldn't you say that Roy Jones has a mind for boxing?
He only has the mental
style.
Mind.
He's fought every style that there's been. He's fought southpaw, unorthodox. He's fought everything, man. And I think why not give him a chance, man? You never know. This might turn out to something good. And I'm not no fanboy, like you know what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. I mean, I rock with Anthony Joshua, but I'm not a fan of Anthony Joshua. I just am hoping
the top 3 people, Max. Give me 3 people that Roy Jones has trained and done something for.
Well, that's easy to say that, Rap. That's easy to say that, but I'm excited. Can I not be optimistic? Can I not be optimistic?
Yeah, but you guys are not being logical here. This is a friendship. This is a mental state friendship. This is Roy Jones mentally trying to help him, bro. Yeah, physically, Roy Jones knows the game of boxing. Roy Jones mentally is a very good understanding of the sport. He knows how to help you. But come on, man, this is chalk and cheese. Roy Jones is not a trainer. He's now in the training business. He's not a legendary trainer, bro. There are trainers out there who are special trainers who only dedicated their life to training. You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you picking Roy Jones, this is just a brand. This is just, you know, I'm going to stay cool. I got Roy Jones Jr. with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks good. But how much can it really help you, bro? What about Ronnie Shields?
We'll see, my friend.
What about Shields? Kevin Cunningham? Bro, there's so many trainers that he could have chosen.
Derrick James.
Yeah, Derrick James. Go on, bro. Go on, Max. What are you gonna say now?
I'm gonna stand on my square. I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna be optimistic. I saw a little bit of improvement when he got with Robert Garcia. I saw a little bit, not a whole lot, but I'm gonna be optimistic about it, man. I can't say much. I mean, I don't what's the word? I don't claim to be an expert like you guys. I enjoy the sport of boxing. I give my 2 cents when needed. But I'm just being optimistic, and I hope everything works out for him.
Yeah, I respect that. I agree, actually. I
think Roy Jones fanboys are happy.
Yeah, come on.
God, this guy throwing that word around.
It's true, though. Roy Jones
How
fanboys
did you find out about this?
Don't worry, Max.
Oh.
Hey, yo, Rapstar's connected out here, bro. You know, we joke a lot on his channel. You know, we troll Mirage and them, but Rapstar, you know, he's well connected out here.
Yeah. Last night we had Rachel Donaire on the interview.
Oh, she was on here last night.
Yeah. I think the stream got taken down though, but me and
let me get one of our friends from across the pond. We got Stormy Bean, first time on my channel. What's happening, Stormy Bean?
Hey guys, how you doing? And thank you for inviting me. I took you up on your offer because I was listening to your news, and he was right. The brother that just said a moment ago that he haven't heard this news anywhere else. So salute to you for breaking this. But yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, Stormy Bean, if it will be transcended to the deal. But what we do know is the conversations between Roy Jones and Anthony Joshua is going on. And Roy Jones met Anthony Joshua in Abu Dhabi, and that from there, they've been getting more closer towards, you know, working together. But Stormy Bean, it's hard, don't you think, at 33 years old, to teach an old dog new tricks?
Especially when that dog was never trained properly from the beginning.
Ooh. Interesting. Nice. Break that down for me. Why do you say that? I never heard that point.
Well, if you know me, I can break it down. I don't just throw things out into the universe
for sure
without purpose. No. I don't mean any disrespect in saying it. What I'm going to explain myself.
Yeah.
You see, I saw this early on in Joshua's career, even before he got the opportunity to fight for the titles that he ended up collecting. Yeah. But what I noticed was they wanted to build a guy with a certain image and everything, but it was, as the old adage, all style and no substance. Now, he was very capable. In fact, the first time that he and Dillian White fought, they were very close as far as, you know, where they were and their abilities. And he prevailed in that fight. And it was at that moment that they kind of went toward fighting guys that AJ has certain advantages over and everything.
Yeah.
However, they didn't add to his arsenal and his experience by fighting different types of styles and things of that nature. A lot of times when you know you got a guy who can punch, when you know you got a guy who is capable, you want to add to what he has by peeling back the layers of that onion, by putting him through certain types of tests. Put him in against guys who are going to move away from him. Put him in against guys who are going to come after him. Put him in against guys that might be a little short. And if you notice, he does have trouble when he's fighting guys who are shorter than he. Those different types of scenarios, you do that, and you can do it without he necessarily being in big time matches all the time. It could be interim fights. You know, it could be a fight where to stay busy, so to speak. And the people will embrace that because they get to see more of him, but he's actually learning on the job. Because remember, once he had the titles, what did they say? Well, let's slow it down a little bit. You know, he is only such and such years old. He's only had such and such fights. Do you remember them saying that?
I believe I may have heard something like that. Yeah.
And well, when you got the titles, that's not the time to slow it down. That's the time to hunker down and develop yourself even more. And when I was saying that he should have gotten more trainer in as far as a different perspective, that didn't mean even getting rid of who was originally with him. But sometimes when you have an investment, and that is what Joshua is and was, when you have an investment like that, you bring in as much as you can to shore him up and fortify him. There's no way, really, he should have lost to a sub replacement in Andy Ruiz Jr. Okay, but he did, and that was partially his handlers and his promoters' fault because they didn't look at Andy Ruiz. They just saw a fat guy. You understand? But they didn't look at the fact that how close his fight with Joseph Parker was, and that in his previous fight, even though Top Rank had dropped him, he had beat up that guy Dmitry Dmytrenko, the big Russian guy. He beat the crap out of that guy on television, and the guy was big like Joshua. So that means he knows how to fight big men. If they had listened to Evander Holyfield said that when he was sparring in the gym with Andy Ruiz, he said that Andy Ruiz is the one that convinced him to retire because, and this was years ago before Andy even got to the point where he was fighting Joseph Parker. Remember, he's in the gym with these guys. He said that he couldn't get away from Andy. He said Andy was laying hands on him, and this is the former 4 or 5-time heavyweight champion of the world in Evander Holyfield talking about this man's abilities. So if your people are really good studies, they should be able to take these things. If anything, a guy like Andy should have been paid to come over there and help him in the gym.
Those are really good points. Yeah, those are very good points.
Because you're the heavyweight champion, you got these belts and stuff like that. That shouldn't be the opponent that you want to put your belt on the line with if you know his track record. You bring him over there and you pay him because Top Rank dropped him. He needed money. Bring him into your camp. Klitschko was always bringing the young guys into his camp so he could see what was on the horizon. Plus, it kept him sharp. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be fair with you, though, I mean, I great points you made, Stormy B. But most heavyweights, they get comfortable, and at some point, like even Deontay Wilder, he needed to move on from Mark Breland because he wanted to add to his game. Now they're doing it after 30 years old. Even Tyson Fury moved on another trainer. Heavyweights like Andy Ruiz moving another trainer. Are they doing it too late? When you change your trainer as a heavyweight, Stormy B, what age should we consider that you need to move and start learning and adapting then?
Well, it really depends on how your career is going. we saw a big heavyweight in Effie Ajaba who was with a great trainer in Ronnie Shields. He left Ronnie Shields. And as soon as he left Ronnie Shields, couple fights he lost. You understand? So it's like, and Ronnie Shields was teaching him and bringing him along with certain type of matches to not only show him at his best, but he was on a learning curve. Well, you know, to mention Ronnie Shields, and someone said his name earlier, that would have been a great coach for Anthony Joshua simply because he's a teacher, and his track record of having been around guys like Georgie Benton and Lou Duva and those kind of men who have been around the game for so long. There are things that people have forgotten that they could teach. You understand?
Yeah, no,
and that means
people
a
say
lot.
Go on, who's
people
that?
say the
Who's
heavyweight.
speaking? Who's speaking?
This is Anthony.
Anthony, man, introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, this is Anthony. But people say that the heavyweight divisions are pretty prima donnas, though, in terms of they're very finicky on who they're very selective on who they train. Anthony Joshua had a Hall of Famer in his training camp before, in Lennox Lewis, and he pushed him out because Lennox he didn't want Lennox was trying to train him, and Joshua got mad. I think Joshua and some of these heavyweights want yes men in their corners. They don't want anybody to correct them. That's the issue. How long is this going to last?
That came along with him also being a multimillionaire already. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when these guys start living a certain kind of lifestyle and everything, it's hard for someone who's supposed to be their instructor and teacher to teach or show them anything when they think they know it all. Look at what I got. Look at what you got. You know, I got ladies, I got the home, I got the cars, I could travel wherever I want, this, that, and the third. What do I need you for? That kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I said it's probably a dual-edged thing that happened here. Hearn probably spoiled him with some things that will keep him in his graces. He did end up signing a lifetime contract, didn't he? And then he also, you know, he kept the cat well fed. Well, if the cat is well fed, when a mouse run across the floor, the cat gonna just look at it. You understand? He ain't gonna get up and go after it because he's well fed.
Now,
Yeah, I
my
understand, but
who's speaking now?
oh no,
Anthony?
you can speak first. Yeah, no, you can speak first.
Go on, man.
No, but
Go on,
the issue, honestly, I think a guy like Joshua needed a trainer whose experience was heavyweights, and I don't think did Ronnie have experience training heavyweights? Does Ronnie have experience training heavyweights at the top level, or was he more of the mid-level?
Absolutely. Ronnie Shields was in camp with Evander Holyfield, and David Tour, all those guys. Ronnie Shields was around back then.
As a trainer, as a young trainer, or a fighter?
He was an assistant trainer in those times back then. He also he trained Mike Tyson. You know, during Mike Tyson's comebacking career, because you know Tyson was suspended a few times and he'd come back or whatever, and he went through a few guys. Ronnie has a great bit of experience, man, and I don't say that because it's like he's a personal favorite or anything. I say it out of respectability. I've known names of the guys he's worked with. You know what I'm saying? And that speaks volumes when you have a guy who has that type of experience. I mean,
now let me ask you this. This might sound a little bit off, right? I know this can't happen, but I'm just saying in a fantasy world, because we know that the Kronks is with Tyson Fury. Do you think they could have helped AJ?
The Kronk gym?
Yeah. Do you think Sugar Hill could bring something to the table for Anthony Joshua?
Well, I don't
I
think
see
that
him as a
Sugar
winner.
Hill. I don't think that Sugar Hill is really the one. I think that Jonathan Banks is more of an accomplished trainer and coach than Sugar Hill. It's just that Sugar
Oh,
Hill
Yeah.
was. Hold on. It's just that Sugar
really?
Hill was in the corner of Fury with Fury's biggest wins. But prior to that, whom have you heard? Sugar Hill,
Yeah.
accomplishing it. But Jonathan Banks, who was right there with Emmanuel a lot and broke off on his own, has had a great deal of success. So
Who's
yes,
Jonathan
and to
Banks?
answer your question
Who's
quickly,
Jonathan Banks
yes,
trained?
Kronk
Yeah.
Gym could help AJ a lot.
So who's Jonathan Banks trained in the recent times in boxing? Somebody
Triple
notable,
G. Triple
He's
right?
worked
G.
with Triple G. He's worked with
Klitschko.
what's his name? Badu
Klitschko.
Jack. Just man, it's a number of guys. I'm sorry that I'm trying to think of names to run down that you would
What
know,
about
but
that guy? Let's get some names, gang.
he
What about
worked with
Abel?
Vladimir
What about
Klitschko
Abel
too,
Sanchez?
because he worked with Vladimir Klitschko too, because he was
Yeah.
around there with Emmanuel. But go ahead. What's your question again? What was the question again?
Anthony, what's your question, Anthony? I don't know what he said, but he was trying to ask you a question. But look, let's put it this way. What about Abel Sanchez? Would he be able to help Anthony Joshua? Abel
Would who be
Sanchez.
Abel Sanchez?
Mm.
I'm not a fan of Abel Sanchez as a trainer, and he has shown racial bias in his articulation of saying things. So I don't necessarily know that I would be very comfortable with Abel Sanchez. And let's not forget, if you look at Terry Norris today, he is not in the best of shape, and Abel Sanchez has a lot to do with that.
Now, people believe that Joe Joyce's trainer, Salas, is a good trainer. Salas is game for a long time. He's helping Joe Joyce. I mean, at this point, I know that, it's hard to put him in the same camp, but a man who's done a lot for Joe Joyce showed improvement. What do you think about the trainer who's training Joe Joyce right now? Can you guys hear me?
I heard you. My comment on that, I'm not that familiar with that gentleman. I'm not that familiar with him.
With the guy who's training Joe?
You're cutting out, Rap. You're cutting out. Oh,
All right, I hope I'm back. So the trainer who trains Joe Joyce, he's done a lot for Joe Joyce. Could he add to the game of Anthony Joshua? He seems like he's got a very good eye for boxing, for heavyweights. What do you think, Clubinator?
Yeah, he could. That's the thing. I actually agree with the man who was talking before. Jonathan Banks is a great trainer. I would definitely pick him over Sugar Hill, because Sugar Hill, isn't he the guy that he's training the new Ali Walsh, Nico Ali Walsh, and I don't think that guy looks too good when I see him. So I don't know. I don't think Sugar Hill has that touch. I think Sugar Hill kind of has the Eddie Reynoso effect, where
God
he managed
Come
to get
on.
that. He managed to get like a fighter that he has a lot of chemistry with, and he's able to bring out the best in that fighter and really, really like do good stuff. And he's not a bad trainer at all whatsoever. But I just don't think he has like just the ability as a trainer to work with just anybody and turn anybody, like touch anything he touches turns to gold. The Midas touch, I don't think he has that. So I don't think he'll be able to mix well with AJ, man. That's just the way I see it, though. That's just the way I see it. I could be wrong. I
So
don't know what you guys think.
do you think at this point, with Roy Jones stepping forward, you think Roy Jones can do a better job than Garcia? Or do you think Roy Jones is just trying to help him mentally and, trying to give him some more help him with his skills that he's got? He's got a good eye for boxing. But you would move from Robert Garcia, who's dedicated his last 15, 20 years as a trainer, and then you're going to move to a legendary fighter who is not right now established himself as a trainer with some great, he hasn't got anything great under him yet as a trainer, but he's got one of the best eyes for boxing, bro.
Yeah.
So, is Roy Jones Jr. really a good addition? Or is it just branding that Roy's a good name? If I stick with Roy, I add another assistant trainer. I don't know, I'm a bit confused at what can Roy bring to the game.
Yeah, we're going to need to see in his next fight, man. We're going to need to see who AJ fights and how he looks, because it's a big asterisk, a big question mark. We really don't know, man. Roy Jones, like I said, his quote was that he's going to work mainly on AJ's mental game. He needs to get his mind right first before he gets his body right. So that's what Roy Jones is going to be focusing on. Whether he can do that or not, we've yet to see.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can't say fighters can't improve. We've seen that Deontay Wilder's been making improvement with Malik Scott. Sometimes fighters do need they just need the right connection. They also need to be trust. They got to trust each other in everything. This is a time where Anthony Joshua has to really, is he got the obedience, the humbleness, the mindset to just let somebody charge him? Or is he going to get back to his old ways? You get what I mean? Everyone can get trained, but when you get punched in the face, it's so easy to go back to what you know.
Yeah.
But Max.
This is the thing. Didn't you say a little earlier? I'm sorry.
No, sorry, go on, Stormy B.
Didn't you say a little earlier, Rapstar, that when he lost the fight to Usyk the second time, and threw the belts out the ring and all of that, didn't you say that Roy said something, or someone read something about Roy saying that Joshua is okay as far as his mental or something is okay or whatever? Didn't someone say that a little earlier? Because on the contrary, I do believe that little mental breakdown he had after the defeat against Usyk, it's a lead into some deeper problems with this young man.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I thought I heard someone mention that, because see, Roy, don't forget, Roy is a smart man as far as making the money. If there's an opportunity for him to collect a great paycheck and train in this heavyweight, he'll do so. You understand? So but what Anthony Joshua would need is someone who is stern enough to talk to the weaknesses that he has. And one of his greatest weaknesses is his self-confidence. And also there is also something there that he kind of thinks he knows better than other people. I can't really define how to articulate that, to the point I'm making, but as a fighter, you have to have the ability to receive information. And I believe that in that area, AJ has problems. He still thinks he knows better.
Do you think he thinks he knows better, or you think as he was going on the journey? Because I've always felt, and I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but I've always felt that the first fight with Andy Ruiz, it kind of done something to Anthony Joshua mentally, as far as how confident he feels, how relentless he is, how he wants to have, if he hurts someone, he wants to go for it. Something has happened to him after that loss. I always feel that mentally there's some kind of demon that's appeared in him.
Well, I had heard stories. You guys could define this better than I can. I had heard stories about people beating him up in the gym. So
Daniel
even if he was the unified, if he was the unified champion of the world, but he's getting his butt handed to him by, fighters who are just coming up and everything, and they're whooping his butt in the gym, that says a lot about him. He's got problems.
Well, let's go to the chat. Felix Cruz says, my boy Roy, I don't think he's going to do good with AJ. Okay. Well, you know, you got opinions. We don't know. You know, yeah, Roy is a good street hustler. Now, look, you can't blame Roy Jones for wanting to take this deal. Just like Stormy Bean said, it's an opportunity for anybody, right? The money that Roy Jones can earn with AJ, let me just tell you, how much percentage do you think the trainer gets with AJ? He got to get 5%. He got to be earning over 5%.
Or
Now,
whatever he accepts to pay a guy, because Roy might ask for more than that. I don't know. But I'll tell you something. I am never an advocate of talking about the dollars.
yeah,
I enjoy more in talking about the preparation and the fighters and the styles and the techniques and the character and things of that nature, because that's more solid as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, money talks first. It's all about money. And we got to recognize that Roy Jones Jr., he putting his name to Anthony Joshua, he don't want to look that bad either. He got to bring something to the table. I mean, this man's on a losing streak. Anthony, you're now getting Anthony Joshua, right? Let me explain this to you guys. You're getting the man after 2 losses. You're not getting Anthony Joshua when he's winning with belts. So picking that man up, you got to bring something to the table. The world is going to watch you. Now, Roy Jones Jr. knows, I know this. How much does Anthony Joshua earn? 50 million? You know, Roy Jones Jr. be fetching something like, I mean, I don't even know. I'm just going to make a hypothetical guess. At least 25 million. 25 million, bro, as a trainer. Not many trainers can ever earn that money through their whole lifetime. And when they're finished with their career, they'd be lucky to even make $1 million, some trainers, 2 million, 3 million. But 25 million on every bout? Anthony Joshua's right-hand man now is worth over 20 million on every fight. That has to take, you got to take that into accountability here. Now, it's Anthony Joshua's choice who he wants to bring to the table. It's not Eddie Hearn's choice. It's not DAZN's choice. This is solely Anthony Joshua's choice. So, you know, you got to add an assistant trainer to Roy Jones, don't you? Don't you think so, Stormy Bean? You got to add a team. You can't just depend on Roy Jones. You must be adding your Angel Fernandez. You must have a team. And Roy Jones is going to probably be the head trainer.
Yeah, you need a team of guys, a head trainer, but what you really need is a person that is going to help keep you mentally sharp and focused and technically proficient. That's very important. Now, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion about Roy Jones as far as technical proficiency. I am not an advocate of what I've seen with him working with Eubank Jr. because he tries to train Eubank Jr. to fight like him. Well, Roy had a specific set of talents, you know what I mean, that don't come around a lot, and athleticism. And that's not an easy thing to convey. That's like trying to get somebody to you're trying to train somebody to fight like Ali. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Stormy Bean, Roy Jones is an advocate of a fighter that likes to tell his fighters that he wants them to get hit less. He teaches them new tricks and he teaches them in their best style how to get less punishment. You know, Roy Jones is a fighter who likes to be, he has a mindset for a fighter. Do you get what I mean, Stormy Bean? So for him, he wanted Chris Eubanks to use his attributes to try and make it difficult for the other fighter instead of just going in and swinging it out and then trying to use his jab. He's showing him more. He's trying to see, can he help him by taking less punishment? But sometimes it doesn't work when you're trying to change the guy. Go on, mate.
Yeah, I totally understand that. But what I'm saying also is that if you remember Roy, when Roy was in his perpetual youth, he did a lot of things wrong, but he got away with it because of his physical gifts, which everyone doesn't have that. But yes, you can teach a fighter how to not get hit clean. You can teach a fighter how to slip, evade, block, parry, catch, and shoot with punches to make them more efficient and things of that nature. I do not disagree with that point. I was using Eubank as the example of how there are moments and instances where he has Eubanks trying to fight like him, and that's not as fruitful as it could be because he can't do it like Roy. You know what I'm saying? And I use the Ali analogy where, like I said, you can't teach a guy to fight like Ali. However, you can teach a guy to fight like Larry Holmes. Now, what was Larry Holmes known for? Boxing and picking people apart with that jab, right? Now, do you recall Larry Holmes getting hit a lot? Not necessarily. You know why? Because Larry Holmes was very excellent at how to use his arms. He had an 80-inch reach, and he knew how to use his arms to ward off shots, to block, trap, parry shots, ward shots off. Those are techniques that are subtle. And Eddie Futch, the great trainer, used to teach his guys how to do those things. He taught Joe Frazier, he taught Ken Norton, he taught Larry Holmes, he even taught Leon Spinks for a duration. And guess what? All four of those guys defeated Muhammad Ali.
Sometimes the method works. If the source is there and the guy can pick it up, they got a good mix.
But those men had different styles. All of them. They had different styles, but each one of them had a victory over Ali. But the common thing was their trainer, and that was Eddie Futch.
Now, my thing is this. As boxing fans, where would we like to see Anthony Joshua improve on? Now, for me, it has to be his footwork. Anthony Joshua needs to add to his footwork. He leaves himself too open. He got to know how to use his feet with a much more smarter brain. He got to bring that footwork. Do you think Anthony Joshua, Roy Jones, can help him with his feet slightly? Or do you think it's too late? Because, you know, Roy knows how to analyze a fighter. Roy knows how to play a guy with his feet. Can he give some attributes? Can he give some help, some secrets, push it, work on it 10,000 times in about 6 months? Can they work on things on his feet? Can they help AJ on his feet? That's my main thing here. I'm going to start with you, Max. Are you still there, Max? Max, I see you there, but I can't hear you. Okay. We've got Clubinator. You there?
Yeah.
Where would you like to see an improvement? Yeah. Where would you like to see an improvement on AJ? What's the main improvement where you want to see AJ improve?
I need to see AJ, like you say, with his footwork. He needs to get out of range a bit better. But also, I noticed this one thing in the Usyk fight. When he gets to his positions, like let's say he goes on the front foot or something, he's crossing the line, he's getting into another position. He doesn't really control like other people who they use the same style do, right? Like Usyk, Crawford, Lomachenko. You'll see these guys, they'll usually be getting on the front foot, right? It's a trademark of their style, right? They're getting to that front foot position. And usually what they're doing with that is they're trying to create an angle and trying to kind of control their opponent, right? Now AJ, he has the right idea where he's trying to move. He's trying to move from front foot, back foot, right? Which is unique. A lot of heavyweights don't do that, right? Which is why he's able to get so far. But the problem, why he wasn't having as much success as he could have with Usyk, and where he proved in the second fight, is he wasn't throwing any punches when he got into that position. He was just going into the position and then not doing anything with it. That's actually something that Lomachenko was doing with Teofimo Lopez in Teofimo Lopez fight, not the first fight. They only had one fight. Where you see Lomachenko, he's moving into these positions that he's not doing a goddamn thing with them. It's like, dude, you just created space and you're not doing anything with it. So AJ needs to, I guess it's more of a stamina thing. He's definitely going to have to work on his stamina, but he's going to definitely have to start throwing his hands more when he's moving around, when he's moving his head, doing this head movement, a la Mike Tyson. You know, you can't just do this crazy bob, duck, and weave, and then you don't throw any type of left hook. You did all this, you wasted all this energy setting up, and you don't throw anything behind it, then it's just wasted energy. And there were a lot of open points where Usyk was open, and AJ had the upper hand in terms of positioning, and he didn't throw anything. He didn't control him at all, and it was basically just a free punch for Usyk. And that's something that AJ could definitely improve on, because he's got other things. He's got his jab. He can control his opponent with his jab. He's got a mean right hand when he lets it go. You know what I'm saying? He's got some inside game. He can clinch. He knows how to tie up a bit. And we know that he can step back and stay on his back foot like he did against Ruiz in the second fight, right? He has the basics down, but he's got to make these little tweaks that could go a long way for him. That's the way I see it. I don't know what you guys think.
All right. Well, Larry Liston. Yeah, I'm going to go to Stormy Bean next. Larry Liston says, you can't make a mule into a racehorse, fellas. Felix says, yes, John, he can't be taught anymore. I mean, Stormy Bean, if I'm not mistaken, Stormy Bean, have you trained fighters in the past?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so you can see that I must have watched you back in the day, right? So I know that you've trained some fighters in the past. So
Yes.
How would you, as your analyst brain, where do you want to see an improvement in a 33-year-old man? Where would you go with this?
What's going on, people? It's your boy.
Well, I think that he needs a change of mind to begin with. That if the body can only follow the mind, and if he does not change his mind, it doesn't matter how much muscle he has or how much weight he loses, how much reach he has over someone, or even how powerful his punches are. If his mindset isn't correct, none of that is going to play a role, because when the mind is weak, everything else can't come forward. Now, with those things being said, where he could benefit tremendously is taking power off the shots and look to throw shots, because his hand speed is quite decent, to believe it or not. He can look to score shots, touch the guy, and when you mix up your power, that way they can't tell when the big shot is coming. You know what I'm saying? So instead of throwing a hard 1-2, throw a 4-punch or 5-punch combination where you're throwing with speed instead of the power, and let the last shot be the heavy shot, or let the first shot be a shot to alert that more are coming. You can mix it up. The second thing would be, and you made mention of this, is his footwork. You want him to be able to get out of the reach of the opponent, not move out of range, but out of the reach of the opponent. You know who we've seen do that recently? We've seen Dmitry Bivol use that to his advantage tremendously. And Dmitry Bivol is not the most athletic guy out there. He's not. No. But he understands distance and range.
Facts.
And when you can operate from the distance that is more appropriate for you, you can control the tempo of a fight. And so I would like to see him improve in those two areas, take some power off the shots and look to throw more combinations. Because I'm going to tell you, AJ can hit you with one and hurt you really bad because he's a big man. He's strong. He's got power. But if AJ hits you with 4 or 5 or 6 of them, don't you think you'll be a little dizzy? And don't you think you'll be on the defensive because of the onslaught? It's like it will preoccupy your mind. It'll make you start thinking, I can't get hit by too many of these from this guy. And he ain't even hitting you with the heat yet. You know what I'm saying? So those are aspects that could work for him going forward. And
now I have go. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and I think it's something that can be worked on in the gym right away. It's that his age is what it is. You can't change that. You can't change the mistakes he's made from the past and bring them into the present. You can start a new slate with a different philosophy, and the philosophy is to be able to do these things that are advantageous to you. You know what I mean? Stop worrying about what the other guy does. Worry about what you're going to do and impose that.
So what you're saying basically is the mental side of AJ, it really needs a lot more preparation than just his physical attributes to work on. Because if he's mentally having certain issues that give him the confidence to fight a certain way, it's not allowing this man to flourish to the best advantage of what his body and his power and his ability can bring to the table. Because if you mentally have some certain things that have changed it's like Stormy Bean said, if you step in and you can land your combinations, but you stepping in with that killer instinct that you're going for these killer combinations. Instead of him analyzing, now lately we've seen after the Andy Ruiz fight, Anthony Joshua is doing a lot of analyzing. He's punching, but he's constantly on the look. Is he over focused? Is he a little bit scared that he don't want to get clipped anymore because he felt what it's like with Andy Ruiz? And at that point, he's mentally got to be the same man he was to get the best out of his attributes. And maybe his mental side is the biggest demon right now for AJ. It's not physical even, because I think physically he can beat Usyk. It's his mental that's not allowing him to fight that little bit extra where he can put himself in that position and land with combinations more. It's got to be, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add to that. I was going to say, well, if you remember when Ruiz defeated him in their first fight, do you know what Ruiz's advantages were?
His speed.
Not just his speed.
But he punches with combinations.
Thank you. In today's boxing, you do not have a lot of fighters who punch in combination, and that's across the sport. It's not something, and I talk about this a lot, because when you punch in combinations, remember the first couple of shots is basically a greeting, like knocking on a door. You know what I mean? The rest of the shots are the follow through, who steps across the threshold. And fighters have to understand that. Remember, a lot of that comes from guys fighting in the gym, not sparring, not learning, but fighting. You got a lot of that these days. So there's very little teaching going on. The second aspect of that is when matchmaking happens and they're being pitted against guys that on paper they're supposed to do away with. So you get knockouts. Well, it's okay that you get knockouts on your record, but it's time to start learning how to defeat styles. You understand? And the more rounds that you can put in through the variation of styles that you meet, the more you learn to settle into a fight, make adjustments, and do things, try things, and put yourself in a position to understand what's happening in there.
But I will say this though, Stormy Bean, you made a good point earlier, and I want to elaborate on this point. You said AJ has been too long surrounded himself in that same method which kept him winning because he was not strategically moved, but he was winning against opponents that allowed him to get away with what he had.
Right.
At some point, they got too comfortable with that, and Eddie Hearn was more interested in the business factor of Anthony Joshua's brand than actually helping him elevate and explaining to him that he needs to move on and add to his style once he goes up there with the $100 million fights.
Right.
So we saw that they were so focused in the branding of AJ that they weren't really focused on elevating AJ because they felt that they had a product which was good enough to do what it took to win, but they were wrong. Now, what we do know is we've never seen Anthony Joshua special, looking very special against fighters. He wins, but he also is in a fight. Right. We don't see him do things like we've seen Muhammad Ali do, like we've seen special fighters do, that as they grow older, like even a Tyson Fury, he has some special attributes where he can adapt and then he can change his style because he has the attributes, because you can see he's got some good attributes about him, whether you like him or you don't. My thing is, you need to be like that Muhammad Ali kind of fighter, Floyd Mayweather, a Sugar Ray Leonard. These guys have special attributes. So when they get older, they can adapt to what they've got and they maximize in what they've got today, and they can still beat you because they're so special that they make the best of what they got. Now, when Mayweather didn't have the hands anymore and they were brittle and he was taking injections in his hands, he got more defensive and he was fighting with a more lighter shots, with pop shots, but he was using his movement and he was very good at fighting on the inside, and he had enough power to keep you honest, but he would never go for the knockout. He would just outbox you and conserve his energy because he knew that that's the best he's got right now.
And AJ can't.
AJ doesn't have that. I'm going to keep it real. AJ don't have the special X factor. That's my opinion.
Right. And AJ
what do you
can't
think
fight
about
on
my
the
opinion
inside.
on that?
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. And AJ can't fight on the inside. He needs to be able to learn how to handle a smaller man in close proximity. See, that's the other thing. Fighting guys, he doesn't seem to have a problem against guys who are 6'5" or 6'6", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". But when a guy is under those heights, he has a little bit of difficulty, and that's kind of weird because it could be an anxiety thing. Because when you're close to someone, when you can feel their breath on you and yours on them and things of that nature, a lot of times people can gain anxiety. But when you're comfortable being in close, or you've learned to be comfortable in close, you can actually execute a lot better because typically the other guy is trying to get away from you. You know what I'm saying? It's rare that you'll have two rams trying to come together in that aspect. And what I was going to also use the analogy of the first fight with he and Ruiz is that Ruiz, right, his speed, but he threw combinations in the first fight. Now, AJ in the second fight boxed from distance, remember? And he basically controlled the fight, but he won the fight, but it wasn't exciting. Can I ask you, what would you have liked to see AJ do in that second fight that he didn't do that would have made it more pleasing to you?
Yeah, let's get some other people in the chat. This is Hardcore Boxing Talk right now. Rapstar, Max, you're very quiet. Max, are you learning a lot? What's up, Max?
Yeah, man. I'm just soaking it in. I
want to know what's your opinions on Stormy Beans.
I mean, I was one of the people that, I don't know if I said it on this platform, but I said it when Andy Ruiz beat on Joshua, man. I just never felt he recovered. He was ever the same. You got to think about it, man. Anthony Joshua was on top of the world. He was what Tyson Fury is now, right? He was on top of the world, a mega star. We were talking about the Wilder and Joshua fight possibly happening, and to lose to someone that, wasn't even someone of his caliber at the time, I just don't think he recovered well. So part of me feels bad, but part of me says, this is really an opportunity for him to show us the heart of a lion, the heart of a champion. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I've never been a fan of protecting the O, right? If you lose, right? But you come back better. So that's kind of what I'll say with that. That's where I stand with that.
What do you think about it, Clubinator?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with everything you guys are saying. Like, oh man, like it's really, it's really yet to be seen what AJ can really improve because, like you guys are saying, the mental state has been brought into question, right? And and just that X factor, whether or not he does have that X factor, and just the fact that Andy Ruiz was able to come in and do what he did to him, not just physically, but mentally as well. Just absolutely destroy him mentally to the point that, he ultimately cascaded into that breakdown he had in the second Usyk fight where he was throwing the belts around. First of all, those aren't even his belts to throw around. Um, and just saying that, he has heart, so blah blah blah, this and that. So it's just all signs of 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 a negative future on the horizon. But like I said, I like to remain positive and hope the best for Anthony Joshua. I think he's still at the top of the heavyweight game for the most part. Like in terms of not the top guy, but one of the top 10 heavyweights. So as long as he's there, he's going to be prevalent for years to come. Now, can Roy Jones actually implement something in his mind, some type of mental strength program that's going to be able to fortify him enough to actually, because what you guys are saying is right. When you can be the most skilled fighter in the world, right? You can have the skills like Lomachenko and Usyk, right? These skills that when you see them in the ring, you just know that they're like, oh man, these guys are doing everything right in the ring. But there's intangibles in boxing. Skills aren't the only thing that follow you in that ring. There's ghosts, there's anxieties, there's the pressure of the crowd, there's the training camp, whether it went well or not. That's weighing on your mindset going into that fight. If you had a bad training camp and you know that going into that fight, and you don't know what your other opponent, how their training camp went, so your assumption is only that training camp was one of the best they've ever had. Just a bunch of things, man, even little things. Oh man, I think I might have walked out to the ring too quick. I still got to take a piss. I forgot to take a piss before I walked out to the ring. Little things like that, man.
Yeah.
There's all types of factors that people don't take into account when you're when you're walking to that ring, and AJ, he needs to be well equipped to handle it all. And it seems like he's only well equipped to handle it all
Mm.
when he's the one wearing the crown. But when he's not wearing the crown, it doesn't seem like he can handle that. He wants to be the chosen one. He wants to be the main character. He wants to be the protagonist. But he needs to come to terms with being a dog. He needs to come to terms with being the Joseph at the bottom of the pit. He needs to come to terms with being the slaves, the Israel slaves, and the breaking free from the pyramids or whatever, the biblical days. He needs to come to terms with being at the bottom of the bottom, scum, so that he can rise from the ashes. He needs to have that dog in him, and if he's not willing to go to that dark place, he's never going to see the light again. That's the way I see it.
So it seems like after speaking to all of you guys and the chat today, Anthony Joshua, regardless of who trains this man, they need to be able to make sure they get to that mindset. They need to make sure they can help Anthony Joshua mentally before any physical attribute. And the mental attribute to help a fighter, let me ask Stormy Bean, how do you mentally, now I know, but I like to keep the show moving. How do you mentally, Stormy Bean, help a fighter in AJ's situation? What tactics and methods would you take as a trainer to help this man mentally?
We'd have to go on some walks and have some conversation. And I would have to get him to open up about his aspirations in life. It doesn't even have to be talking about the sport of boxing, but it's about getting to a place of understanding who he is as a person. Because when you're able to do that, then you can begin to speak to him in a way that he is receptive. You see, that's important. Fighters are people, but they have a switch, you know what I mean, that they have to flip on when they go inside that ring. And it's important to understand that. AJ, I believe, feels like nobody really cares anyway. So he feels like a man on an island. But that's not necessarily true. But you have to have someone who is willing to show you that they're there with you, that they, you know, and when I say there with you, that doesn't mean in your presence, but being on the same level of being able to communicate with you. That's very important. See, that's why Cus D'Amato had such a great hold over Tyson, because Tyson had a weak mind. But with Cus, he found strength. He found intelligence. He found understanding, because Cus could speak to him. When that was gone, what was left behind eroded over time. It was with him for a while, but it eroded over time due to economics and people coming around him, wanting stuff here, there, pulling him in all directions. But it's very important to get to a fighter's mind, to understand who he is and then you work from there. So have a few conversations, have a few meals together, go on some walks, talks, go fishing, find out what makes this man tick. I don't think Robert Garcia did that.
Right. Now, I'll tell you what methods I will also take, included those methods, you know, and mentally be able to, you know, get to know this guy and really try to really bond with him, and we can do this together kind of attitude. But also, I think the whole mental rebuild, because I've been in my boxing gyms and I know what trainers have showed me and what I've seen with many of my friends and how we've trained fighters. One of the things I'd help Anthony Joshua with is everything that Stormy Bean you said, but also when he's in the gym, showing him with other fighters what weight and how we need to improve. If I can get Anthony Joshua to be more confident in sparring, show me, so that we both are on the same page, I can rebuild this fighter by getting someone like really good fighters behind the scenes after helping him, and him to mentally go and do it so he can get confident a bit more. Maybe that's where we can mentally adapt together and say, you know what, not only are we now understanding each other, it's working. I need something to work for AJ in the ring and as a person to get to know. So once I see AJ, things are working, and I can now elevate him and make him way more confident, I think I'm onto a winner. Because one thing I have seen is AJ has got little improvements when he's lost. When he came back in the Andy Ruiz fight, part 2, one thing I saw is that he adapted and he got a little bit, he can do different things. So it's not like AJ can't improve, he can. But it's the mental side that needs to improve more as well. Now, in the second fight with Usyk, Anthony Joshua showed little improvements. Now, if I can help him in the sparring and show him things behind the scenes and let him elevate on that, and even there's going to be hard days and good days, when I find that things are working, I'm going to now go for it with him. I'm going to constantly work on what's working for him. I want him to be on the same page as the trainer, where they both know there's improvements before they go into the next fight. That has to happen behind the scenes in training, and that has to happen, like you said, Stormy Bean, outside the scenes.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Hey, listen, man, I left you a message there in the private chat. I'm going to have to get out of here because I'm going to see the Black Panther tonight. So
oh, yeah.
I got to get out of here and go
that's
check
a good movie out, bro.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing your platform. Thank you for inviting me on. I appreciate it. And salute to the other brothers on here as well. And salute to the chat.
Respect.
Hey, listen, respect for you to come and show support to Rapstar, Stormy Bean. Don't be a stranger. I got the WBC coming soon. So if you got a question for Mauricio Sulaiman, send it to Rapstar and I'll ask your question, Stormy Bean.
Sounds great, man. I appreciate that.
All right, brother.
All right. Peace to you guys.
Peace.
Peace, man. Enjoy your night.
See you, bud.
No, look, man. At the end of the day, you can't just help the man mentally as a friend.
Why are you so hard on Anthony Joshua, man? What's
No,
going on with you? I thought
but
you
look,
was a
we
fan.
can't just. You can't just help him.
Nah,
You
man.
can't just
Y'all
help
let
him
me talk
mentally as
now.
a friend. Go on, then, bro.
Nah,
Go
I'm
on,
just
Max.
saying, what's all of this sudden like doubt? I mean, let's give him a chance, man. Let's give him a chance. I mean, I was excited when Garcia was training him because I thought we would see some improvement. I mean, we saw a little bit, guys. I feel like we saw a little bit, but I'm not counting Anthony Joshua out, man. You know what I mean? I'm just
Well,
not.
I'm gonna
I'm
tell
not
you
there
this.
yet.
You guys might not. I'm not biased. I keep it real. Anthony Joshua
All right,
is from my side of the fucking world. He's from London, my town.
absolutely.
I'm supposed to maybe sugarcoat it for Anthony Joshua. But I'm
Facts.
not like Max. Max is acting a little bit like a casual. Now let me tell you why, Max.
Go
At
ahead,
this
tell me why.
point, I've got Tyson Fury beating Anthony Joshua. Everybody agrees with Rapstar. I've got Alexander Usyk already beat Anthony Joshua twice. I've got Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce. Let me see what the chat's gonna say.
Don't you
I
say it?
no,
Don't you
you
say
be
it?
quiet now. Now you be quiet. I'm gonna show you something, bro.
All right,
On an eye test right now, where boxing is. I'm not saying AJ can't win some of these fights, but I've got Joe Joyce. Even Joe Joyce, mentally, physically, right now, I've got Joe Joyce edging Joshua.
damn, man.
So that's 3 fighters I've already named to you that I think they beat. Already one's beat him twice. One I can tell you Tyson Fury is gonna beat Anthony Joshua. There's no doubt in my mind. And then Joe Joyce, I got my money on Joe Joyce.
Wow.
And I'm keeping it real because I think Joe Joyce can edge Anthony Joshua now. And then the other man is Deontay Wilder. I think Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even favor Anthony Joshua in that fight, bro. I can't favor Anthony Joshua versus the Bronze Bomber. I can't do it. Even though I'm from London, England, I can't put Anthony Joshua as a favorite. If he has still got demons, hey, listen, the Bronze Bomber can put Anthony Joshua to sleep. So what are you going to say now, Max?
I think you just gave up on Anthony Joshua. That's what I think. I think you just given up on him, but it's okay, you know.
I want to ask the chat. If you think I've done that, let me ask the chat.
Go ahead.
Larry Liston says facts. Wilder will spark him out. You value footwork and you got Wilder as a number 1 contender. Yeah. AJ isn't going to win on the outside. See? That right hand is there all day. Listen, AJ can lose to Wilder. He's losing to Tyson Fury, and he already lost to Usyk twice. Joe Joyce will beat Anthony Joshua. So this is now, you're looking at AJ's got a tough road, bro.
Even John McSmith agrees with me. Wilder at number 1, you're bugging.
Whatever, man. You always got one person to agree with you. You know? But look, Clobinator, who do you see beating Anthony Joshua and who do you put ahead of Anthony Joshua right now?
Let's see. I've got Fury, Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and Wilder is a toss-up, so they're interchangeable. But Usyk and Fury, either 1 or 2, and number 3 is a battle between Anthony Joshua and Wilder. So Wilder could be 3, Anthony Joshua could be 4, or vice versa, and then everybody else the rest. Joe Joyce, and then the rest. Joe Joyce, and then Andy Ruiz. Then
where is he? Where is he? Give me a number. How many people you got?
Let me see. I think let's put AJ number 4. Let's be generous to Wilder.
Right, and Max had AJ number 2.
Yeah.
So what is Max watching, bro? Max, are you sure, Max? Max, are you sure you're not from London, or is it Rapstar? I think Max is from London, bro. Max talking like he's a fanboy of AJ.
I'm from Aussie, man. I live next to Mirage.
Okay, yeah. Look, I think AJ can beat Joe Joyce. AJ definitely can.
Nah, that's
You got.
wild.
Hey, listen.
That's trolling. I
AJ
feel
can
like
beat Joe Joyce. He can.
Joyce.
Listen, bro. Can
Go ahead.
AJ beat Deontay Wilder? He
I
could.
think so.
Could he? Could he?
Yeah, he can. He can.
I think
He
so.
can.
Yeah.
Man, it's a tough road back for the man. I mean, yeah, he got the Dillian Whites. Yeah, you got the guys who are there now standing around in the top 10. But come on, man, AJ got tough fights ahead of him, bro. I can't see AJ beating Tyson Fury, bro. No matter who he gets, he can get Roy Jones. He can go get, he can go get Ronnie Shields. He can go get Freddie Roach. He can go get Salas. He can go get all of them put together. He can't beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
AJ will lose to Tyson Fury no matter what he does. That's my views on that, bro.
So that's it. What do you think AJ should do, Rapstar? Should he just fight the contenders or give up or what?
No.
Well, according to Rapstar, he should.
No, I'm just keeping it factual. That AJ's got the biggest fights in the world ahead of him.
Yeah, but he's not going to win.
I see him. His 3 biggest fights is Tyson Fury, which is the biggest. Deontay Wilder, the second biggest. Then Joe Joyce. Bro, out of the 3 biggest fights he's got, he's definitely losing 2. And don't forget, these fights are going to have rematches. So how much can his mind and his body take? How much can AJ really give it in boxing anymore? Maybe one of those fights might end his career, bro. We don't know. This is heavyweight boxing. All respect to everybody on the chat and even homie Stormy, but I heard him say that 33 years old is still young. In my opinion, it's not. 33 years old in heavyweight boxing is not young.
Yeah.
33 years old is young in featherweight, lightweight, super lightweight. Once you start going heavier than welterweight, 33 years old is not young. You get me, Clobinator?
Yeah, I get you. He's aging, man. He's aging. You could even see it in Usyk, man. Usyk is what, 30? He was 34 in that second fight. He's about to be 35. He's and he didn't. He's looking like and with just the weight that he's gaining too, he's not looking like as sharp as he did even in that first AJ fight. I mean, there's an asterisk there. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's because of the Ukraine stuff that's going on. So that's yet to be seen. Maybe in a year or something, if the Ukraine situation goes down, maybe Usyk will look a bit more back up to speed. But he did look a little worrisome in that second AJ fight in some spurts. He just was fighting a little bit differently, and so the age does affect these people. That's the point. And
he's not going to get faster, is he? At 34 years old now.
Yeah.
When he gets into 34 now, is Anthony Joshua going to be faster? Listen.
No.
Hey, listen, Johnny Thunder. You before you make a comment, go watch what I said earlier. Only certain fighters, as they age, they show you special attributes as they're coming up.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mirage on that one, actually.
At the end of the day, only certain fighters can age well. But the way that Anthony Joshua is fighting and how he's getting outboxed, and then we've seen him get beat twice, we know that Anthony Joshua is not a special fighter like that.
But
he doesn't bring the attributes that you can see. That did he look like a masterclass against any of his opponents? He was always in a war. He was in a war with Klitschko. A 40-year-old Klitschko, Anthony Joshua went down. He got knocked down, and he was in a war. Even Dillian White made Anthony Joshua do the stinky leg until Joshua overcame that fight. Anthony Joshua has never outclassed his opponents. The only time Anthony Joshua has beaten his opponents is when he's overcome some adversity and then came and knocked them out. So yes, some of the fighters he knocked out, some of the fighters he outboxed, but he didn't do it like a Muhammad Ali. It's special. Larry Holmes was special when they were beating these kind of guys. Tyson Fury is special. Tyson Fury can beat opponents without getting hurt too much. Anthony Joshua is a fighter that has limited attributes. He's a good combination puncher. He's got a good jab. He's got power, but he doesn't have the all-round skill set like a Tyson Fury, a Muhammad Ali, a Floyd Mayweather, are fighters that can adapt. As they get older, they make the best of what they got today. You know, it's hard for Anthony Joshua at 33 years old to get faster and start to have better legs.
You're saying that because he's a heavyweight, though?
Yeah, because it's logical. It's fucking logical. A man at 33, at heavyweight, bruv, is not going to get faster or get better, faster legs. He can only work on his mental attributes, on his mental fucking side, and work on the best of what he's got right now. Which means work harder. Go on, Max. You better talk now, Max. You cutting me off. You fucking cutting me off. So I want to hear you, Max, for 3 minutes. I'm quiet.
All right, so
I'm going to go on mute.
Man. All right, go ahead. Go make your breakfast like you always do. Listen.
Send the link to Johnny.
Yeah, send this link to Mirage.
No, I got to leave soon anyway. So you're going to listen now. We're going to listen to Max.
No, because here's the thing. How can you say there's nothing special about AJ? Did AJ not beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch, and he lost to debatable, right? But the #1 pound for pound in Usyk. What are you talking about, bro? You making AJ sound like he's a scrub. Now, again, I am not the biggest AJ fan, but I'm not gonna be on the panel and let you destroy a boxer because he lost twice to possibly the #1 pound for pound in the world. That's just nonsense,
AJ is still nonsense, AJ is. I never said I'm destroying him. I'm speaking fact.
No.
That AJ cannot get faster. AJ can't get faster. You dumb fucks. I don't give a fuck about the chat. And AJ can't get faster legs. I'm telling you, certain skills, AJ can't get better at them. AJ can't get faster now at 33 heavyweight. This is not Lennox Lewis, you dumb fucks. This is Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, anyone you've seen him fight, he's not a guy like a Ali, a Lennox Lewis. You know what I'm saying? This is Anthony Joshua. The man is limited at 33 years old. Well, now that we're seeing that AJ where he can improve, that's in his combination punches. You know, he can improve by standing firm and believing in his punches and knowing that he can get more combinations off instead of analyzing so much. You work on his mental attributes. AJ won't become faster. You know what I mean? He got adapt to style like even Ali. What did Ali do? Ali went to the ropes and he was doing rope-a-dope. Mayweather started going to the ropes and he was working on, as he got older, he was working on pop-shotting you. Anthony Joshua doesn't have that mindset to totally rely on his skills. He needs his combinations, he needs his power, and he needs to be the guy who can force that fight and walk you down. Because he's not a masterful boxer, bro. That's my argument. But go on.
I thought I was speaking. But like I was saying, that's kind of my point with it. But I hear your point. I you know, like I said, I'm not gonna act like an expert, like I'm an expert in boxing. But usually, I say people in the prime are anywhere from 28 to 34. That's kind of like my age bracket for being in your prime. I just think that with the addition of Roy Jones, I'm excited to see what could happen. I don't think Anthony Joshua's a scrub. He lost to Alexander Usyk. Again, my point, he's possibly #1 pound for pound on a lot of people's list. And I think there's still more for Anthony Joshua, and I hope he bounces back. That's my point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Look, my
Usyk is
thing
a
is
good
this.
fighter.
I like Anthony Joshua, bro. I do. He's a fighter for my country. He's my guy. He's put boxing on the map. He has. But I can't deny other heavyweights have better tools. Other heavyweights have a better brain. They know how to box. He relies on his combination and power. He doesn't have that masterful boxing brain. Now he needs to also work on his brain.
Yeah.
Mental attributes, bro. This guy's got so comfortable laying off those combinations and relying on his power that he gets limited. Can he box? Yes, he can. We've seen him box against Andy fucking Ruiz. In the second fight, Anthony Joshua had to box. In the second fight versus Usyk, he did a bit better. A little bit better. But he needs more than that, bro. He needs more than that. He needs to be able to rely on what he's got and believe in his punches. When he hurt Usyk, he can't be wasting time. He needs to use his weight and get in there with Usyk and start landing his combinations. But the demon tells him he's going to get knocked out. He feels that he's going to get hurt. There's too much in his brain right now that second guesses Anthony Joshua and when he's hurting you, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, though, I will say this, though. Can Anthony Joshua beat all the heavyweights apart from Usyk now?
I think he could beat Deontay Wilder. I think he can beat Parker. Man, I just think they're still in. I still think AJ still has a fight in him, and I hope he gets back to where he used to, man.
I will say this, though, before I shut this one down, bro. I might be back later. I don't know. I've got a few things to do right now. But look,
Okay.
I want the best for AJ. Right? I do want the best for AJ. But the hard facts are the hard facts. Do I see AJ winning a belt? I can't see AJ winning a belt if Tyson Fury and Usyk still got the belts. If any one of those, Tyson Fury and Usyk, lets go of one of their belts, like Tyson lets go of a belt or Usyk doesn't fight in mandatory, yes, AJ will be champion again. But AJ won't be champion if these two guys are right now the champions. That's my view on that. I want the best for AJ. Can Roy Jones Jr. help him? I really wish he can. But do you ask me? He needs to pick another man than Roy Jones Jr.
Who would you want to see him with before you head out of here? Just give me someone that you think would benefit.
I think that Mo Salas, the one who helped Joe Joyce. I think he's a good trainer. If Virgil Hunter was younger, maybe Virgil Hunter could help Anthony Joshua, but Virgil Hunter is getting old, right? I don't think Eddie Reynoso can help AJ because he couldn't help Andy Ruiz. Right? So I don't know about this Ronnie Shields. I mean, Derek James seems like he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all subjective because AJ's got to be comfortable. And AJ ain't going to go train with a man who's got 2 star fighters max. AJ needs the whole full attention to Anthony Joshua. He ain't going to share no trainer if they got Errol Spence, Jamal Charlo, or anybody else got another star fighter. AJ's the star.
Yeah.
You're going to have to give up everybody else and solely focus on Anthony Joshua, bro. So not every trainer can train with him because what AJ's looking for is 100% attention to him. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys want to say anything before I shut this one down?
Hey man, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the dude that was here before. Everybody, you know, it was a great stream, and we'll be back on the next one, man. AJ, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good little live we had, man. Hey, look, I think Max, say you want to get something off?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on. It was I always love to listen to people, you know, that know a little bit more boxing than I do. So I appreciate
even though you disagree with me sometimes, but that's all right. That's all right. I appreciate that. I still appreciate all that.
Respect. But no, great show, Rapstar.
Yeah, for sure, man. But look, I'll say this, people. Anthony Joshua, can he do it one more time? He did it before. Everybody doubted him. But he came back and he got his belts back and he beat Andy Ruiz. But can AJ really come back one more time and do something where the world would say, you know what? We were wrong about AJ, bro. We were wrong about this man. I want it to be like that, Max. Do you get me?
Yeah.
That's the truth of how I really want his story. I want him to prove us wrong. And you know what I want? I want him to come, and if he shows us in a fight, can you imagine if he knocks out? Can you imagine if he knocks out or stops Deontay Wilder, bro? You telling me AJ's respect ain't gonna go to another level?
Absolutely.
You tell me AJ don't beat Joe Joyce, everybody's gonna be a believer of AJ again. Can AJ knock out Tyson Fury? These are big, big asks. You know what I'm saying? The odds are against him, bro. He's got a very good chance against Deontay Wilder. He can possibly beat Joe Joyce. But to beat Tyson Fury, bro, oh shit. He got to deal with a lot of mental things, not just mental and physical. I don't see it, but we'll see what happens, bro. All right, I'll catch everyone on the next live.
Yep. See you.
Peace out. Hey, Max, send your email as well so I can get you to send your, in case Mauricio Suleiman comes out of nowhere, you can send your question. All right. I'm going to catch you guys on the next live. We out of here. You've been listening to Rapstar.